live?
All right. Well, good evening. Thank you for being here today. I'm Shelby Hieronymus, and this is my partner Chase Villers. And today we will be talking about a big subject, which is respect.
Alright, so what we went ahead and started off with taking some photos of our classroom environments, usually just students that are either, being disrespectful, intolerant, or they're going about, just not focusing in class and kind of ruining that classroom flow that happens within every single classroom. It might not be that easy to detect, but there is a flow that happens in the classroom. It's like a strict course of progression that happens from the start to the end of class, and that flow gets broken whether you're getting distracted, you're talking to another student, or you're just generally being disruptive. You could ruin that flow, and that could not only affect you, but it could affect a lot of people around them. Like for instance, in this photo, you can see the student at his computer, he's playing games, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, unlike the student that's to the left of him, that's doing her work, she's researching. And what's also a big part of this photo is that the teacher notices this. Instead of a teacher helping another student or anything, he's too busy being focused on the student that's not doing their work, that's playing video games, and it's just taking time away from the day. Same thing for this photo. These two students are talking to each other when the teacher is trying to explain something to them, which not only ruins that flow, but it's also really rude and disrespectful. You want to like it when you're trying to talk to someone and they're off doing whatever, like the teacher there, he's trying to explain to them, but they're not listening. They're being really rude and disrespectful. Now in this one we actually caught two things happening at once, which thanks to Shelby here, we managed to put this in a slideshow for you. As you can see here, the student has an iPad with them. They have a bag of chips out and their head is lying down on the table. We have these iPads that are, by the way, a privilege, not a right, to use to better advance our education. So when you're there, when you're sleeping, it's kind of showing that you're not responsible enough to use them. And it also doesn't help that she has Netflix loaded up instead of anything that's related to her course. Now if you see the students that are back there in the background, they're actually hard at work. They're working hard, they're focused, and they're on task, and they're doing what is expected and what is right of them to do. Now, I've always made this kind of running joke that I am that student. That, of course, all my friends would know that I slack off a lot. I sleep, I don't stay on task and everything. But during this presentation and learning about how much this truly affects the classroom, not just me, that it just kind of opened my eyes a bit that maybe I should start taking things more seriously. So, and actually, I kind of have started taking things more seriously, and I could see that effect happening not just for me, but for my friends, and for the grade and my grades in the classroom, and how it just changes that whole environment. So, don't be like the past me and slack off during class. Trust me, you'll regret it. It's bad. It's like being pepper sprayed in the eyes, but by an F. This is what you should be doing in class. As you can see, the student is working hard with the teacher. Try to get more involved. Ask your teachers questions. Do not be afraid to ask your teachers questions. They love it when you ask them questions. They love it. I should know because I ask too many because I slack off during class. So, do not be afraid to get more involved. This will help you in the long run. We have, Houston, we have a problem. Again, we have more photos of students interacting with teachers. Those of you know that this interaction could help how you feel about a class. You don't like a class, that's probably because you're not necessarily involved that much. When you sit in the back and you kind of just watch what's happening, you kind of just, you feel yucky about it. But when you actually open up and get more involved in it, get more focused on it, you could see that you might like that class a lot more than you think. And then here's the last one. these two were working together, and I remember catching this very moment that she finally got a question right, and that made the teacher smile. That brightened her day, that brightens the students' day, that just makes the whole classroom environment a lot better for everyone.
And this here is our poster, and we came up with a little slogan, give it, get it, respect. You give respect, you receive respect. So like within the classroom, recently like a big issue we see is with like the technology. We were given iPads, which are supposed to help within the classroom. Like let's say you can't get a computer lab that day, so you get on your iPad, you do whatever you need to do, type paper, do some research, whatever. As a senior, we just got these iPads this year, second semester, you know, kind of get the feel of it, not throughout the whole year, but like me personally, I find it very helpful when you actually use it for what its intended purposes are for, which is like doing your research, getting your work done, whatever, and then maybe use it for fun if you're done with whatever work you're doing. Like this whole thing is really accountability. Like you use your technology for whatever you need it, and it's really helpful. And one of the things that we, like our call to action, I guess you would say, maybe limit the technology. When you get into a classroom, maybe not allow cell phones, just allow the iPads, put restrictions on the iPads, because a lot of kids are downloading games, not paying attention in class, playing whatever games that they have downloaded on their iPad, or they'll completely tune out the teachers, put in their headphones, put on Pandora, Spotify, whatever they have like available to them.
Yeah, that's what me and a lot of students feared, that that technology could become really disruptive in class, which I have experienced a lot. And so in my own classrooms, the student will be on technology, then the teacher will get on them for not focusing, and then they'll argue with the teacher, and we all know that just takes time out of the class because there's this huge dispute going on and it's just ruining everything for everybody. No bueno, senor. And here's a video. You don't have to full screen it, you can just click on it and open it.
What did we talk about this?
Okay. It's like the stock that people buy.
Lou, you fell. Let's go to the nurse. You fell. Let's go to the nurse.
Yeah.
You might sit back.
Perfect answer, right? Object or particle is particle. Moving to the right because lots of loss.
Alright, like you saw there in the video, in the very beginning was students goofing off and not focusing and being on task. And then halfway through the video, you saw where it says treat others the way you would like to be treated. That's a golden rule within our school and always has been. And it's actually true in life. If you treat others the way you want to treat it, you're most likely guaranteed to get that same level of respect back. That's why it's also the same slogan within our poster. Give it, get it. Because that's what happens. Because if I'm respectful to you, you're most likely to be respectful back to me. That's just this cycle that constantly happens, which is that same flow that I talked about being within a classroom environment.
Now, who's involved within this whole respect thing? It's the student and the teacher, the relation between the two. Like the student gives respect to the teacher, the teacher will be respectful to the student, and vice versa. So like a lot in the classrooms, like sometimes when the whole classroom doesn't care, the teacher doesn't care. Like I've had personal experience where like I'll be doing my work, everyone else will be kind of like jacking off whatever, doing whatever they want to do, and then the teacher just kind of sits there because she's unsure, like, you know, what do I do? Like how do I get these kids like engaged doing what they actually need to be doing? Now what? Obviously respect. Like we want the students to be respecting the teachers to be respecting the students, and like how do we achieve it? Like that's the big thing. It's going to be with like technology, with our media. we plan on having the video on the screens, like in our commons area or the cafeteria. There's several screens, like 6 screens, and there's like a big screen that drops down. Like we could have the video airing like within the commons area during lunch, because they have like announcements that scroll through. We could also have the poster viewed on the screens. We can have the video aired during ELT, which ELT is an extra hour for people to work on like any type of like work they need to do, whatever. And that's a time when kids are gonna like pay attention to whatever's the teacher's showing. And why? The reason why we want kids to respect their teachers and teachers to respect their kids is because there's like a big impact. Like it's gonna go into like your real life situations. Like when you're working, like you're like, let's say even if you just work at like McDonald's, like as a cashier you want to respect whoever's like your customer is, and as a you want that customer to respect you in return.
So all in all, just try to be more focused in class. Try to work on improving that environment, because there's no way that anything's going to change that if you don't step up to that plate. So this is all required on you and maybe the teachers, but it's just mostly the students. If you guys can help improve that classroom environment, then everything will turn out a lot better for you. So that is all, and I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you guys, very good. Good job. Okay, let them have a couple seconds and then they can fire away question ones.
This respect thing is, how do you begin to change people? I mean, you convinced us, and I thought this was a very effective presentation. I really like how emotional you are about it. You can tell you're very passionate about this topic. So you convinced me, but how are you going to convince others your age beyond this classroom? Is there anything that you feel like you would follow up to this?
That's exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to be that relatable figure for the whole presentation, because we all know that students go through day and day with teachers telling them, you're gonna fail, and everything like that. But what they really won't expect it from is from a person just like them, going through the same daily things that they're going through. Because I know that I've had teachers telling me I was going to fail, and I had some other students telling me that I'm going to fail. But after a bit of talking, not one-on-one with just teachers, but also with other students, I kind of learned that, oh, I need to start taking this seriously. So that's what I was trying to be, that relatable figure that students can relate to. And because they know that, of course, I've gone through everything that they've gone through, so maybe they're being more willing to listen to me.
Is there a plan to kind of showcase that? You know, like, because you're right, I feel like that is pretty powerful, you know, for other students to hear students saying, you know, I thought the examples you gave were great, you know, of ways to kind of be more involved in the class time, you know, classroom and things like that. You know, I love the interaction. I wrote down interaction will help you like the class. I thought that was a great comment. Is there a way that, like, you could tie in social media in order to, like, maybe allow people to build on those experiences that they've had in the classroom, maybe of times where they changed, you know?
Perhaps I was thinking of this hashtag ESHS Respect, that people could go ahead and talk about their experiences or their stories being in the classroom and everything. And with this hashtag, of course, you could search it up and then you'll find all these great examples of people telling their stories.
Okay. All right, thank you guys. Very good job. Thank you.
Thank you.